Well, Blood Angels fans, it looks like we get to be both sad and happy with this review of the Gold Blood Angels Captain. This is Sprues and Studs, and we are always happy to see another release of a Blood Angels action figure on this channel. But the problem with this release is we have now come to the end of the Blood Angels review block. And it has been a pretty fun ride with the highs of the Blood Angels Red Captain as well as the Sanguinary Priest. So join me in this review to see if this gold leader lives up to the standards that have been set by his predecessors. Since this action figure is entirely gold, and to avoid me sounding like a broken record during the review, I will take the time to say that this whole action figure is in dire need of shading. You have all heard me say this time and again, gold is literally a brilliant color, but without any sort of other accents, it's weirdly dull looking. The best example of a well shaded gold figure is the OG Sanguinary Guard, so go ahead and check that review out. Regardless, I do apologize for starting off the review on a sour note because I know that JoyToy has the full capability of shading as evidenced by the red Blood Angels Captain and the new Sanguinary Priest. And just to mix things up a little bit, let's just start off with size comparisons. So we have the version 3 Blood Angels Intercessor off to the left hand side, and then V4 in the form of Titus over here. And most of you already know that this gold captain is actually a 4.5 revised or modified version 4 figure, in that he is slightly taller than the version 3, shorter than the version 4, so he's literally somewhere in between. And once again, we will bring in some Chaos Space Marines, and both of these guys are version 4, which we thought that JoyToy was trending toward, but they decided to shrink this gold captain down. Alright, this halo that is surrounding the head is rather impressive. I do enjoy the varying size of the rays of the halo, which gives some nice flavor to this action figure. I like the high texturization of the hair, which contrasts against the smoothness of the armor. Now, this is a death mask that I can get behind. The furrowed brow gives the mask an intimidating look that the death masks of the revised Sanguinary Guard sort of lacked. I think if GW gave this type of death mask to the Sanguinary Guard, I would be moderately happy with that action figure, but I kind of digress. There's really nothing much to say about the chest area because, well, there's really nothing much to it. In fact, this area is an exact copy of the red Blood Angels Captain, with the pec chest plate, the blood tier, and the interesting designs that can be found on the lower flank area of the armor. The same could be said about the six-pack that this captain is sporting, and that is the replica of the red captain. I suppose I wish that GW would have given this action figure's design a tiny bit more variation so that the gold captain can stand out more, as this is a leader and character figure. Now, pauldron wise, we get to see some differentiation from the red captain. For example, this golden boy is rocking a very massive winged heraldic shield, well, in the form of an angel's wing. I do like how the edge of this wing is black in contrast against the off-white of the feathers. I do find that the shading of the feathers gives this shield a delicious depth of flavor. Finally, the blood drops that are located on the outside of the wing really conveys that the blood is oozing out. Then, instead of the standard chapter icon on this right pauldron, this captain goes against the grain by displaying a triple blood drop. But it's kind of sad that this lifeblood is screened on, rather giving this area a 3D type of effect. I also think that this pauldron with the black outline helps with the monotony of the gold color. Then on the other side, we see a modified captain icon with the red stripe being slanted rather than being vertical in more traditional captains. Then with regard to the arms, they're pretty much unadorned with the exception of these blood drops. Now, if you are enjoying this action figure review and my tone of it, please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can become a member of this chapter, so you can get up-to-the-minute updates with the latest and greatest Warhammer 40K and Horus Heresy action figures. Then, speaking of more mirror imaging, the front of this waist area is a copy of the Red Captain 2. You can see the same blood icon symbol that represents the belt buckle of the captain. I kind of wish that JoyToy would have painted this area a black color to contrast against the vast sea of gold that is this action figure. I personally think that this captain does not need any more gold than it does right now. Anyway, I like how the cords are braided and also shaded to give some nice color variation to the captain. Then we get the same purity seal, blood tier pendant, and the blood vial that is also found on the red captain. The double belt pouch and the empty holster are attached to the belt by ball and socket joints, which allow for ease of switching, and then reattachment for kit or action figure pouch swapping. So the legs have some musculature that is associated with them. In fact, the deep ridges are the only thing that gives these legs a sort of character, which is a slight disappointment that GW didn't decide to add some other Blood Angels icons, such as blood chalices or blood vials, to this area. The only other icon this captain has is an unshaded Blood Angels chapter symbol icon here. Now, this cape is just like any other cape that JoyToy makes, which is actually a good thing. You have your standard high depth of shading in the folds of the cape that really stands out against the brightness of the higher areas of the cape. There's a nice white embroidery that links together some winged blood drops. Then when you flip the cape around, you see the very soft and velvety coloring that JoyToy has given to this area. With regard to the backpack, I suppose the only thing that makes it different is the brilliant red metallic blood drop that sets it apart from other MK10 backpacks. Now, moving on to the power sword, this one bears a striking similarity to the Sanguinary Guard with the Encarmized sword and Infernal pistol. You have your silver to gunmetal gradient, the blue glow of the power node, and this blood tier indentation that is very close to the hilt of the sword. Sadly, this captain's hilt area is not as decorated as the Sanguinary Guard because this blood tier here lacks the ornate wings. Just like the Absolver bolt pistol, I love the look of this heavy bolt pistol more than the standard one. When you look at this bad boy, there's some more heft, some more substance. I really like how JoyToy took the time to color the rivets of the gunmetal to give the black casing a little bit more feature. And of note, this magazine is actually not removable, which sort of bucks the trend that JoyToy was going to have these magazines removable. Well, there you have it. The block of Blood Angels review is now at an end. Anyways, to be honest, I find this action figure of this gold Blood Angels captain to be a little bit lackluster despite the luster of this armor. The first reason is that, well, I think that the gold is very boring to look at due to the lack of shading. That being said, I am very well aware that the red Blood Angels captain as well as this gold captain is based off of the same miniature, so that's why you don't see any variation. However, I wish that we actually could have gotten some variation from GW, especially with the belt buckle, as well as the myriad decorations that are located in the waist area. My assessment is that this captain is a decent action figure with no real faults to it. So it should come to no surprise if you were financially strapped and you needed to choose between the gold captain or the red captain. I would highly suggest you to pick up the red captain. Now, if you wanted to pick up this gold captain or the red captain or any other action figure, just click in the link in the description below, or you will be brought to a very strong channel supporter by the name of David Toys. I really enjoy David Toys because of a couple of things. One is that they have fast and free shipping. And most importantly, they have tariffless shipping, which is paramount at this time that we're in. And the second reason is, well, if you use my affiliate code SNS, you receive 12% off of your purchase, which obviously helps you and also helps me in the end because I make commission off of these purchases. And as you've heard me say before, because of the commission, it goes right into the channel again, so I'm able to buy more action figures so that you can see more reviews. So Blood Angels fans, as well as members of the chapter, please let me know what you thought of this action figure review, and most importantly, what you thought of this gold captain. Was my assessment a little bit too harsh on him, or it was completely spot on? Anyways, let me know in the comments section. That's it for the Blood Angels action figures for now, but never fear, Lamarties as well as Sanguinor are going to be released around the corner, so look forward to those reviews in the future. And with that being said, I will see you all in the next one.